The Ferrari hits the guardrail at 70 miles an hour, and the world goes silent. When she opens her eyes, a man is standing at her window asking if she's okay. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Isabella Harrington doesn't recognize him at first. She's too busy checking her reflection in the cracked rear-view mirror. Her designer dress is torn. Her phone is shattered on the floor. The man taps on the window again. "Miss, can you hear me? Are you hurt?" Isabella waves him away. "I'm fine. Just call a tow truck." She tries to open the door. It's jammed. The man pulls harder from the outside. The door finally gives. Isabella stumbles out onto the dark highway. Her heels sink into the gravel. "You're bleeding," the man says, pointing to her forehead. She touches it. Her fingers come away red. "It's nothing," she says. "Do you have a phone?" "Mine's destroyed." "I already called for help," he says. "Ambulance is coming. You should sit down." "I don't need an ambulance," Isabella snaps. "I need my car fixed. Now." The man studies her face. Something flickers in his eyes. "You don't remember me, do you?" he asks quietly. Isabella looks at him properly for the first time. He's wearing mechanic's coveralls, grease on his hands, dark hair, maybe 30 years old. "Should I?" she asks coldly. "No," he says. "I guess not." Sirens wail in the distance. Isabella's head is spinning. She sits on the guardrail. "What's your name?" she asks. "Lucas," he says. "Lucas Reed." The name means nothing to her. "Well, Lucas Reed, I'll pay you double whatever you make in a month if you can tow my car tonight and fix it by morning." Lucas laughs. It's not a happy sound. "Some things haven't changed," he mutters. "What's that supposed to mean?" Isabella demands. "Nothing," Lucas says. "Your ambulance is here." The EMTs rush over. They check her vitals, clean the cut on her head. Isabella refuses to go to the hospital. She signs the waiver against their advice. "I need a ride," she tells Lucas. "My father's estate is 20 minutes from here." "I'm not a taxi service," Lucas says. "I'll pay you," Isabella says impatiently. "I don't want your money," Lucas says. The EMTs pack up and leave. The tow truck arrives. Isabella watches as they load her destroyed Ferrari onto the flatbed. $200,000. Her father will be furious. Actually, no, he'll just buy her another one. He always does. "Fine," Lucas says suddenly. "I'll give you a ride, but only because it's late and dangerous out here." His truck is old. 15 years, at least. The passenger seat has duct tape on it. Isabella climbs in, wrinkling her nose. They drive in silence for several minutes. "You really don't remember me," Lucas says again. "Should I?" Isabella asks, irritated. "We went to the same high school," Lucas says. Isabella tries to place him. Nothing. "I went to Ashford Academy," she says. "Private school. You must be thinking of someone else." "I went there too," Lucas says. "On scholarship. Junior and senior year." Isabella vaguely remembers scholarship kids. She didn't talk to them much. "Which year did you graduate?" she asks. "Same year as you," Lucas says. 2015. That was 9 years ago. Isabella barely remembers anyone from then. "What was your name again?" she asks. "Lucas Reed," he repeats. His knuckles are white on the steering wheel. "Doesn't ring a bell," Isabella says, pulling out her compact to check her makeup. Lucas is quiet for a long moment. "You threw a party once," he says. "Senior year. At your father's estate. Everyone was invited, even the scholarship kids." Isabella hosted lots of parties. She doesn't remember that one specifically. Your father had just bought you a Mercedes for your birthday, Lucas continues. You gave a speech. Said everyone should enjoy themselves because your daddy could afford it. Sounds like me, Isabella says without shame. I brought a girl, Lucas says. Her name was Emma. She was my girlfriend. Also on scholarship. Something cold settles in Isabella's stomach. She wore a dress from Target, Lucas continues. It was the nicest thing she owned. She was so excited to come to your party. Isabella closes her compact. Slowly. You and your friends laughed at her, Lucas says. His voice is steady, but there's steel underneath. You asked her if she got her dress from a garage sale. You took pictures and posted them online with captions making fun of her. The memory surfaces. Hazy. Uncomfortable. A girl in a cheap yellow dress. Isabella's friends giggling. The social media posts. Emma left crying, Lucas says. She transferred schools a week later. Couldn't handle the bullying that followed. That was 9 years ago, Isabella says defensively. She killed herself 3 years later, Lucas says. The truck goes silent except for the engine. Isabella's throat is dry. I didn't know. Why would you? Lucas asks. You never thought about her again. Look, I was young and stupid. You were cruel, Lucas interrupts. There's a difference. Isabella stares out the window. Her hands are shaking. I'm sorry, she whispers. Are you? Lucas asks. Or are you just sorry you got caught? I didn't mean for that to happen. You didn't mean for anything, Lucas says. That was the problem. You never thought about consequences, about how your words affected people. I was 17, Isabella says, voice rising. I made mistakes. Everyone does. Emma paid for your mistakes with her life, Lucas says flatly. They pull up to the gates of the Harrington estate. Lucas punches in the code Isabella gives him. The gates swing open. The mansion looms ahead, lights blazing in every window. Thank you for the ride, Isabella says quietly. She opens the door, pauses. Lucas, she says, I really am sorry. About Emma. About everything. Sorry doesn't bring her back, Lucas says. Isabella nods, climbs out. She's halfway to the house when Lucas calls after her. Isabella? She turns. Do you even remember what you're doing with your life? He asks. Or are you just drifting from party to party, car crash to car crash? That's none of your business, Isabella says. You're right, Lucas says. It's not. He starts to drive away. Wait, Isabella calls. Lucas stops, rolls down the window. Why did you help me tonight? Isabella asks. If you hate me so much? Lucas looks at her for a long moment. Because Emma would have wanted me to, he says. She was kind, even to people who didn't deserve it. He drives away, leaving Isabella standing alone in the driveway. She walks into the house. Her father isn't home. He never is. The staff barely looks at her as she passes. They're used to her coming home at strange hours. Isabella goes to her room. 30,000 square feet, and she's never felt more alone. She opens her laptop, types in Emma's name. The obituary is from 6 years ago. Emma Collins, age 19. Beloved daughter and friend. Isabella keeps searching, finds old articles about a teen suicide, mental health struggles, cyberbullying. She finds her own old social media posts. They're still there. Photos of Emma in that yellow dress, the cruel captions, hundreds of comments, thousands of likes, people she doesn't even remember piling on, making jokes. Destroying a girl they'd never met. Isabella feels sick. She deletes the posts, one by one. It takes 2 hours, but they're finally gone. Except they're not really gone. The damage was done years ago. Isabella can't sleep that night. She keeps seeing Emma's face, Lucas's eyes, the disappointment and anger there. At 3 a.m., she gets up, starts researching. She finds Lucas's auto shop, small place on the edge of town. Good reviews. She finds articles about him. Community college graduate, self-made business owner, volunteers with at-risk youth. Everything Isabella isn't. The next morning, Isabella does something she's never done before. She takes her father's old Honda. Not the Lamborghini, not the Porsche. She drives to Lucas's shop. He's under a car when she walks in, only his legs visible. "We're not open yet," he calls out. "It's me," Isabella says. Lucas rolls out from under the car, grease on his face. "What do you want?" he asks, standing. "I want to apologize," Isabella says. "Properly." "You did that last night," Lucas says. "No, I didn't," Isabella says. "I said words, but I didn't mean them. Not really." Lucas crosses his arms. Waits. "I've spent my whole life not thinking about other people," Isabella continues. "Not caring how my actions affect them. You were right. I'm cruel and selfish, and I've never faced consequences for anything." "Why are you here?" Lucas asks. "Because I can't undo what I did to Emma," Isabella says, "but maybe I can be different going forward." "That's great for you," Lucas says. "Doesn't help Emma." "I know," Isabella says, "which is why I want to do something in her memory." Lucas's expression shifts slightly. "What?" "I have money," Isabella says. "A lot of it. Trust funds, inheritance. I've never done anything useful with it. I want to start a foundation for mental health, for bullying prevention, in Emma's name." Lucas stares at her. "I'm serious," Isabella says. "I'll fund it myself. I'll work with schools, with therapists. I'll make sure what happened to Emma doesn't happen to other kids." "Why?" Lucas asks. "Guilt?" "Yes," Isabella admits. "And because you're right, I'm wasting my life, crashing cars, throwing parties, treating people like they don't matter. I'm 26 years old and I have nothing to show for it except a reputation for being a spoiled brat." She takes a breath. "I can't bring Emma back," Isabella continues. "But I can try to be the person she might have wanted me to be." Lucas is quiet for a long time. "Emma loved helping people," he says finally. "She wanted to be a counselor, work with kids." "Then that's what the foundation will focus on," Isabella says. "Youth counseling, anti-bullying programs, mental health resources." "You can't just throw money at this and walk away," Lucas warns. "I won't," Isabella promises. "I want to be involved, really involved. I want to learn, to grow, to actually make a difference." Lucas studies her face, looking for sincerity. "I'll help," he says finally, "but on one condition." "Anything," Isabella says. "You have to mean it," Lucas says. "If you're doing this for show, for publicity, to make yourself feel better, don't bother. Emma deserves more than that." "I mean it," Isabella says. "I swear." Lucas nods slowly. "Okay, then we start today." Over the next 6 months, Isabella's life transforms completely. She stops partying, stops buying useless things, stops treating people like accessories. She works with Lucas to establish the Emma Collins Foundation. They hire counselors, partner with schools, create programs. Isabella meets with kids who've been bullied, hears their stories, really listens. She shares her own story, too, admits what she did, owns her mistakes publicly. Some people forgive her, some don't. She understands both. Her father barely notices the changes. He's too busy with his empire. But Isabella notices. She feels different, lighter, like she's finally doing something that matters. One evening, 6 months after the crash, Lucas invites her to dinner. They sit at a small restaurant. Nothing fancy. "I've been thinking," Lucas says, "about Emma. About what she'd think of all this." "And?" Isabella asks nervously. "I think she'd be proud," Lucas says. "Not of me. Of you." Isabella's eyes fill with tears. "Really?" "Emma believed people could change," Lucas says. "She saw good in everyone, even people who hurt her." "I wish I could tell her I'm sorry," Isabella says. "You are telling her," Lucas says. "Through the work. Through the kids you're helping. Through becoming someone better." Isabella wipes her eyes. "Thank you for giving me this chance. For not giving up on me." "I almost did," Lucas admits. "That night I picked you up. I wanted to leave you on that highway." "Why didn't you?" Isabella asks. "Because Emma wouldn't have," Lucas says simply. "She taught me that everyone deserves compassion. Even people who don't show it to others." They sit in comfortable silence for a moment. "Can I ask you something?" Isabella says. "Sure." "Do you think you could ever forgive me?" Isabella asks. "Really forgive me?" Lucas thinks about it. "I think I'm starting to," he says honestly. "Seeing you change, seeing you put in the work, it helps." "I'll keep working," Isabella promises, "for as long as it takes." "I know you will," Lucas says. 2 years later, the Emma Collins Foundation has helped over 3,000 kids. Isabella has found purpose she never knew existed. She's not the same person who crashed that Ferrari, who threw cruel parties, who destroyed a girl without thinking twice. She's someone who shows up, who cares, who tries. On the anniversary of Emma's death, Isabella and Lucas visit her grave together. They place flowers, share memories, sit in silence. "Thank you," Isabella says quietly, "for saving my life that night." "I just pulled you out of a car," Lucas says. "No," Isabella says. "You saved my life by showing me I needed to change, that I could change. Emma saved my life by being an example of who I should have been all along." Lucas nods. "She had that effect on people." "I wish I'd known her," Isabella says. "You do know her," Lucas says, "through the work, through the legacy, through becoming the kind of person who would have been her friend." Isabella smiles through tears. "I hope so." They stand together in the quiet cemetery. Two people connected by tragedy, by loss, by the slow, painful work of becoming better. Isabella can't undo the past, can't bring Emma back, can't erase the cruelty, but she can honor Emma's memory by being different, by helping others, by choosing compassion over cruelty every single day. It's not redemption, not completely, but it's a start. And for the first time in her life, Isabella understands what it means to live with purpose, to think beyond herself, to care about consequences, to be someone who builds people up instead of tearing them down. The Ferrari that crashed was just metal and glass, but the person inside needed to break too. Sometimes we need to lose everything to find what really matters. Isabella lost her illusions that night on the highway, and she found something infinitely more valuable in return. A reason to be better, a purpose beyond herself, a chance to honor someone who deserved so much more than she received. Emma Collins changed the world by being kind. And Isabella Harrington is spending the rest of her life making sure that kindness echoes forward, one kid at a time, one program at a time, one moment of compassion at a time, because in the end, that's all any of us can do. Learn from our mistakes, become better, try to leave the world a little kinder than we found it. If this story touched you, we want to hear from you. Have you ever had someone help you see you needed to change? Or have you been hurt by someone's cruelty and wondered if they ever understood the impact? Share your story in the comments. Your words might help someone else heal. If this moved you, hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful stories about transformation and redemption. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, and share this with someone who needs to remember that it's never too late to become better. Thank you for being here and for choosing kindness.